Still a mess out here. Got back last night, I don't know, about 8 o'clock or so. Chilled out for a little bit. We had a good little trip. It was a quick one, but it was a good one. Only issues we had was when we left, the transmission in my wife's car started overheating when we were about an hour out of town. Not real sure why. Haven't really researched it yet, but it happened before when it wasn't our vehicle, and the transmission lasted in about another 20,000 miles, and then they had to replace it. So, but this transmission isn't that old, so I don't know. Maybe it's a bad sensor, maybe just the cooler's clogged, I don't know. Anyway, so came an hour back home, moved all our stuff into the truck, took the truck, had no problems with the truck, and then hotel was screwed up when we first got there, but that's okay. I've stayed in a million hotels over my career. I know how to deal with them, so we got that squared away fairly quick. But anyway, so we're back home now. We had a good trip. We went to Monterey Bay Aquarium and Moss Landing and all kinds of stuff there. It was cool. A few days on the coast is always good. I really like being out there. But so today we are going to grind everything smooth, figure out if I missed any welds anywhere, fix that, grind everything smooth again, get most of this paint off the frame that's come flaking off because I've been working on it so much. And then if all goes well, actually not all goes well, we will get this on here today. This is the primer I'm using. That's what I used before. I don't know if it's great, if it's bad, if it's a decent price. It's kind of middle of the road price from what I can find, and I can actually spray it good. So figure that's what I'm going to go with. So we're going to spray some of that on the frame today. By tonight, it's supposed to be in the 80s today, so plenty warm enough to paint. And yeah, that'll get done. So if we get this sprayed today, looks like I have the okay in the next week to go to buy my tires. So if that's the case, if that's going to work out, you know, you never know what happens. But if that's the case, then Monday, this weekend we got a lot going on, so I don't think I'll be out here this weekend. I don't know, being the holiday weekend and stuff. But if that's the case, then Monday I will paint my wheels. So hopefully Wednesday or Friday next week I can go get my tires. Once I get my tires mounted on my wheels, then I'll put the axle back underneath. I got to clean up a few welds or re-weld a couple places on that. I just don't like the way those were some of the first welds I ran, and I don't like them now. So I'll kind of clean them up and put a better weld on there. I'll make my shock mounts, and then I can put the axle back underneath here with the tires on. Then I can set my ride height perfect. Then I could build my bump stops, and with the tires here, and my bump stops built, I can put the bed back on, and I can belt all the body panels back on once I get my wheels and tires put on here. So that's a huge step and a lot of work. Once I do that, in a couple weeks, I should be able to get my exhaust manifolds. I can build my exhaust, and I'll be able to fire this damn thing up. So hopefully that's the way it's going to work. That's the plan. You know, talked to the chief financial officer of this household, and she said that sounds like a plan to her. So that's what we're going to do. But anyway, I'm going to turn my music up, fire my grinder up, and get to work. I'll bring you guys back when I got some. See you in a bit. Alright, first wave is done. A good grinding stone. Wore it out, had to put another one on. Getting close. I use the stone, and then I'll come back and use flapper disc. Get it smoother. And, see where I'm at. So anyway, yeah, grinding for hours is fun. Alright guys, I got this outside's pretty much ready to go. That bridge is ready to go on all sides. I'll go over it with my DA just to make it all nice and smooth and get rid of the grinding marks that I left behind. This is pretty close to ready. This I'm gonna have to work a little bit with the welder. Starting on this side over here now. But anyway, it's time for lunch. So I'm gonna eat my lunch and then get back to it. All right, guys. You know, I'm kind of having a tough time with knowing when to say when. I want it to be perfect, but I don't have the perfect capabilities. But I got it pretty damn close. It all looks pretty good. It'll look better once I run the DA over it, get it all one scratch, I guess you could say. Anyway, it's about ready. I'm gonna run the DA over it now a couple times, but like I said, I just need to learn when to say when, and you know, we all have that issue every now and then. But anyway, she's about ready. I'm gonna run the DA over it and get it really ready, and then should be able to get it in primer today, no problem at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quit looking at it and just start cleaning it up, because otherwise I keep finding other little problems that really are problems and only I will be able to see. So anyway, back to work. All right, guys, the frame all cleaned up. It's all got a good scratch on it now. Got to reach in here by hand, a couple spots, get that done. A couple little small spots right here. I got some of those welding splatter I got to get rid of, but I got to take that brake line off. Other than that, it's time to clean up the floor, clean up the garage real good. What I'll do is I'll sweep it out, vacuum everything up, blow it out with the blower, and then cover everything up, and then should be able to lay some primer down on this. I'll give it 3 coats. That's what I've done in the past. It works well for me. Like I said earlier, this is stuff I'm using. I buy it at a local paint shop. They take pretty good care of their customers there, so I'll keep going there. I won't buy online until until they don't take care of me. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to work, get this cleaned up. Yeah, it's fun. And then I'll change my clothes out of these before I paint, because I had a problem with that before. Blew all the dust off myself into the paint, so I'm not gonna do that again. But anyway, back to work. All right, so this is the drain for my big compressor. It decided to break when I was draining the water out. So what we'll do with this thing is, it's now gone. I took it's one of those things I planned on changing eventually, because that one was a pain. You had to use a pair of pliers to do it. So I took the one out of my tank for my truck and put it in there for now. So I'll have to pick up another one for my truck, but I need the compressor, my big compressor, today. I don't need the truck compressor today. So anyway, cleaned up the floor, blew out the garage. I'll blow it out again one more time, because I did a couple sanding spots. Right now I'm taking that rear brake line out, get it out of the way. So should be painting here in the next, I'd say probably hour and a half, something like that. But anyway, well, maybe longer, because I still got to tape off the cab and cover everything up. Everything's pretty well covered. Stuff that's not covered, overspray is not going to matter. But anyway, back to work. All right, got the cab all taped off, everything covered, workbench covered. The only thing I don't cover is a compressor, because all I have is plastic and I don't want it to melt onto the compressor. I'd rather have a little overspray on it. Everything is cleaned up. Got the hose in here to wet the floor down. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. Got some of the stuff stored outside. But like I said, once I get this painted and I can put my axle back underneath, I can double check my, I can fabricate my shock mounts, get my airbag brackets fully welded on, and then the shock mounts welded on. Then I can clean up and paint my axle, which I'll roll the truck out of the garage with the axle in it, put the truck on jack stands, take the axle off, roll the axle back in the garage, put it up on stands, and weld it. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. Where you see my stands at, there is the bottom of the frame is painted, as was the rest of it. It'll get another coat, but it's primered, painted, So where I miss right there, I'm not too worried about it. I'll end up, what I'll end up doing probably is figuring out another way to hold it up. Probably using these to paint it. Because if I can get primer underneath those, that's fine. I'm not worried about paint underneath those. I just want something to protect them because these are bare. So we'll get some primer on the underside of those, and then the airbags go up against it, so I'm not worried about paint. I'll probably hold it up with the jack stands here when I put the paint on, so I get all the paint underneath the frame and everywhere but where you're not going to see it. So anyway, enough talking. I got to go change my clothes and get ready to paint. So I'll bring you back when I got some primer on. Well, there we go. It's in primer. I didn't realize I bought gray primer. I thought I bought black primer. But so it'll sit like this for a little while. And before I paint it, I'll spray some sealer on it before I paint it. But there we go. Probably a good couple hundred hours led up to this point, I would think. I did a lot of work on this thing. So there we go. It is in primer officially. So that's about it for me today. It's getting around, it's probably close to 6 o'clock now. Yeah. I should put in about another 8 hours today, so it's all good. Most of it was grinding, which you all know is a blast. But all I'm going to do is move my stuff inside. I'm going to leave the truck. I'm going to leave everything covered. Let the garage air out. I probably won't be out here tomorrow or the next day. The only reason I'll be out here tomorrow is to show my dad and my brother how it looks. But anyway, yeah, we're going to call this dude good. And I'm going to clean up and head inside. Get ready for our, we're doing the whole family Easter thing over at my house tomorrow. So we'll get ready for that. Gotta make some fire roasted salsa, and we'll do, we're doing carne asada and stuff tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. So I don't know when I'll be back out here again. It might not be till Monday. So if it is, you guys all have a good holiday, have a good weekend, and be good. We'll see you early next week. Hopefully, I'll be painting my wheels on Monday. That's kind of what I hope to do. So see you guys then. You guys be good. Have a good one. All right, here's one last shot. I got the door closed, so the light's a little better. You know, of course, I see 100 mistakes, but I don't think I'll notice them once it's all black. But anyway, I am digging it. It's gonna look good, I think. So anyway, hundreds of hours of work probably, including the stuff that I did on the rear half of the frame before I even started the YouTube videos. So it's all good. Time to go inside and get to work there. See you guys soon.